it's Leela, the proud poly kinky queer slut. Today's question is about being a slut, and it is I want to go to a sex club and no one will take me. What should I do? And this was my first actual question from somebody who sent me a question, so I'm excited about this. Yeah, sex clubs are intimidating, and they're not always the right first step for people if they're even available in your area. And they're also all different kinds depending on where you are, and the culture of the club may not be the right culture for you. For example, I know in a lot of places, especially for gay men, bathhouse culture is the kind of default sex club culture. And I personally find that culture to be fun, but a little bit low on communication for my particular likes. So if that's your case, then it might not be a good fit to just jump right into sex clubs. I would say that starting with researching sex positive community is a good start. So, Sex Positive World is an organization that connects people with other sex positive community resources. Here in Portland, there's Sex Positive Portland. In Seattle, there's the Center for Sex Positive Culture. There are other groups around the country and the world, but those are the ones that I know about here locally, and I'll link to those. Connecting with community does a few things. One, it helps acclimate you to consent culture. So a big part of these sex clubs, sex positive like scenes is the appropriate consent culture. And the difference between a club that's going to feel good and a club that's not going to feel so great is whether or not the club and the community really has a good sense of consent culture, meaning welcoming to new people. Also, frankly, there are a lot of people who refuse to be helpful, not because they don't want new people and don't want to be helpful, but because they're at a certain place in their own journey where that's challenging for them. I know I reached a point where I was felt like I was still a newbie and people were asking me to help a lot, and I didn't have the bandwidth for it. So I had to say, no, sorry, can't do that. And that's still something I've got to keep in mind, to what degree do I have the bandwidth to introduce people to these things on a personal level? Having said that, though, some of my most rewarding experiences have been introducing people to things that I find amazing and wonderful, and to places that I find amazing and wonderful. I will say that Sanctuary PDX, the club that is here locally, that's more of a BDSM club, it's an amazing atmosphere that is very welcoming to everybody, and I highly recommend checking them out if you're going to be looking at clubs in the Portland area. I will say be careful about the clubs you go to. Do a little bit of research. Just show up and watch. Go by yourself, show up, and just sit there and be the wallflower. Pay attention to what's going on around you, and don't plan on engaging and playing on night one. Plan on getting to know people in the community, and on have a great goal for your first night at a sex club is I want to have one conversation with one person today, and that I think is really an excellent way to go about it, because it is new, and it's like anything else that's new. You wouldn't expect to show up on a mountain for the very first time, strap skis on your feet, and be going down the Black Diamond Run. You would expect that you would need to show up, get to know some people, look at some maps, maybe take a few lessons, go several times and work yourself up to a place where you know what you're doing and know your way around. And that's really the right attitude to have when approaching the sex positive community stuff, and especially sex clubs, because what may look like it's just happening organically when you show up, may look like a bunch of people just showed up and got to know each other and hooked up all at the same time. But there's probably a backstory there with relationships that have been established, people who know each other, people who know of and know, friends of friends kind of things. There's generally, more going on than what might be apparent on the surface. So in short, get connected with sex positive community. Start talking to people, maybe take a class or two, but ultimately, go show up to the sex club, and don't have expectations about what's going to happen. Just show up to observe and be curious and get to know people, and that's going to be the thing that I think is the best way to get into community, into the culture, and get you where you want to go. So thank you very much. Remember, you can ask me anything, and have a great day.